everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Blacktor Studio. I, of course, am your host, Starr Domingue, and today we get to welcome one of my loveliest friends. We've worked together a number of times, and she recently, is a Dora Award winner, Miss Beautiful Vanessa Sears. Yay, Vanessa! Thank you so much for joining me.
My absolute pleasure, Star. I love ya.
I'm not sure if you know, but we always start this show with the very beginning. Let's start at the very beginning. Where were you born, darling?
I was technically born, I was technically born in Pembroke, which is the nearest city to where I grew up, which is Deep River. So, born in Pembroke, but just because the hospital Deep River rarely does births because it's that small a hospital.
What do your parents do?
My parents have done a lot of things. My dad is a nuclear engineer, and my mom has had a vast and varied career. They're both in Vienna, Austria right now, being cool and exciting.
As one does. You know,
as one does.
When you grow up,
don't play around,
and your children are grown and have jobs of their own, you go to Vienna.
Well, actually, it's funny. My parents, my dad did get the job offer when we were still in high school. And, we didn't know this at the time, or at least I didn't. I don't know, maybe I was just the one dumb kid, but I'm pretty sure they didn't tell us because they thought it would be too much to take 4 angsty high school children to a different country. So I'm really, really glad for a multitude of reasons that they've got to go over there and be there for several years now. Everyone has that moment of oh, the kids left the nest. What do we do? And they were like, we know what to do. We're going to
Peace out.
They're living their best lives, and I'm genuinely so happy for them. And also, I've gotten to visit them in Vienna a couple times, so that's a nice perk.
I'm going to Vienna next.
Maybe not right during a pandemic, but normally in the before times and hopefully in the after times, they love hosting. My mom is basically a certified tour guide at this point. She's had so many people just stop by and be like, don't pay for a hotel, come here. Actually, they would be obsessed with you. They already love you because they've met you several times. So they would be so happy to host you. Oh my God.
I'm excited. And so what do your siblings do? Are they all in the arts as well?
Kind of. Everyone has dabbled. Well, not dabbled. My brothers have both made careers of the arts. Both of my brothers are musicians, and my younger brother works with a band called We Were Sharks, and they're fabulous. You should go check them out. Shameless plug. And my sister is in communications for a cannabis company called Canopy. Arts has always kind of been around. I don't think anyone thought any of us would pursue it at any level at any time. So it's kind of cool that it's sort of seeped in.
That's what happens when you have passion. It just kind of permeates throughout the air and then comes out in different ways. We are all creative people, and so we're very lucky to share in that. Speaking of which, how did you get into this business? Where did you go to school? What was the journey for Vanessa Sears into this career?
What was the journey? Wow. My journey is not a rare one, but still one that is less of a straight track. Growing up, I was absolutely certain that I would be a vet. That was never in question. My entire elementary, middle school, high school was always geared towards that. But I did theater as a hobby and after school activity, and it was just for funsies. And then when I was doing musical theater in Pembroke, Streetlight Theater Company, oh my God, I met other people around my age who were talking about going to post-secondary and studying theater and musical theater and the arts. And I was like, you can do that? I didn't know that was a thing. I thought you either were discovered as a 10-year-old and you just were a movie star, or you had a regular job. So it was very exciting and super terrifying, and I still didn't really think that it was legit, or at least not legit for me. And I am very indebted to my mama, who said, you should just what's the worst that can happen? You audition, and if you don't get in, you continue on your dream path, and if you get in, you can consider it. So I auditioned for really only Sheridan College, and then by some miracle, I got in. So my graduating class was the first class to get a degree. So really, almost all of my actual formal training happened at Sheridan College.
That's something that you and I have in common there, Vanessa Sears.
One of many.
One of many things we have in common. Friends, if you didn't know, Vanessa Sears and I shared the fact that we were both on a different track. I was going to become a lawyer, and then I took 1 year and took one drama course. It's the only drama course I've ever taken. And then my teacher was like, "You need to go to an arts school for your post secondary. Secondary? Y'all know what I mean? University and college." So she called all the schools in Ontario to see who was still having auditions, and the only one having auditions was Sheridan, because by the time that we even looked into it, all the schools already had their auditions. And so I auditioned for Sheridan. It's the only one I auditioned for. And then, as you say, samesies, by the grace of God, I got in. This is a prime example. Award-winning Vanessa Sears did not think it was a viable option for her because she didn't know it was a thing that could happen in her small town. She didn't think that it was possible for someone like her, which we'll get into in a minute, because what does that mean? Like her can make this a career. The only way to make this a career was to be discovered. So I think that it's very fitting that she's on our show to share her story. What was the moment that made you believe that this could be your career?
Oh, I still don't know if that moment has happened. I feel like that's part of one of the joys slash absolute terrors of being an artist is that it's always just like one day at a time. Of course, that has a whole new context with the pandemic, of course. But the reality is that a self-employed actor is always in a position of like, even if you win the award, do the big show that's like the breakthrough thing, and like, oh, I've made it. It doesn't really matter. And of course, I acknowledge that I have a certain level of privilege and that I am a working actor and that I'm extremely blessed to have that be my primary form of income when a lot of people are not in that situation. But weirdly, even when you're at the top of your game, which, I still don't think I am, I think I still have so much farther to go and so much more to learn. But even the people who I look up to so much are like, yeah, I was out of work for 6 months, a year, 3 years. Like, it's always a bit roll of the dice, and it's always there are certain factors that are in your control, but a lot of them are not. So I
Case
don't
in
know.
point,
I'm
pandemic.
just like, yeah, like a global pandemic, exactly. I'm sort of always pinching myself. I think, Starr, we've probably talked about this. Most people know this about me. I struggle with imposter syndrome, like wildly. I am always like, I don't deserve to be here. All of you were really impressive, and I'm like, so I am still trying to have that moment of like full concentrated belief and trust in myself. But I'm very lucky that I have an incredibly supportive community who believes in me when I don't believe in myself. So I am very grateful.
As am I, because as you said, like for someone who has imposter syndrome, friends, for someone who is winning the awards, for someone who has been working consistently since school ended and still doesn't think that this is necessarily a career because it's job to job, day to day. It's such a beautiful way to think about your blessings, because then you don't block them. You're just like, this is the job right now, and I'm going to live it and enjoy it and learn as much as I possibly can while I have it. What a beautiful way to think
And
about
I think that's the thing. It's not that it's not being viewed as a career. Like, I don't at all mean to diminish that. Like, it is my career. It's my career right now. And that is what is, always in the balance and always subject to change. And I sincerely hope that it's my career until the end of my days. I would absolutely love to do this till the day I die, really and truly. There's nothing else that I am as excited about. It is my career, but it is a scary career.
the pandemic has really shown us, like, everybody lost their job during the pandemic. Not everybody, clearly, but y'all know what I mean. Everybody's job is career can be taken away. Everybody's career can be sporadic. And so why not live your dream while you can? And why not look at life in that way? I'm going to do this for as long as I can do it and love it. And one day, should it change, because it can, for any number of reasons, to not view it as this thing that was like a shadow on your life, and conversely not look at the future as a shadow on your life. Just, this is what it is today, and I'm so blessed to be here.
Just trying to live in the present.
Live in the present. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Nope. We're working at it every day.
We're working on it. That is always the point. We're working on it.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode of the Blacktor Studio.
But unlike Vanessa, I was not in the degree program. I was before her. Though I look like this, I'm actually like...
You look like you just graduated, Starr.
Girl! Black don't crack, y'all.